Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and possibly a new video. I'm in my van. I got home from work about 5:15. I've literally just eaten my dinner and I've checked the messages and a message has come through on Instagram. Rob, are you interested in this car? I mean, guys, you'll see it on the thumbnail. It's a Porsche Boxster and this car has been sat for a long time. Anyway, he said to me that he has offered it to another auction site. He has offered it to somebody else. No one has of yet come and got that car. Are you interested in it? Would you make an offer, guys? So I made an offer and he said we would accept that amount. So I'm going to run my checks. As long as this car checks out, we're jumping in, we're staying in the van, we're going to the yard, we're going to get in my truck and we're going to head into London tonight and pick this car up because I don't want to miss it. So fingers crossed it all goes well and we'll pick up if we get it. So of course we're going to run a quick car vertical check on it. Porsche Boxster 1998 petrol, theft all clear, odometer all clear, finance and legal all clear in green, damaged clearly highlighted in green. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I didn't expect there was going to be, but of course you have always got to do your checks and due diligence. I do want to have a little bit further in depth. Last known mileage 26,736. Guys, he did tell me that it had done these sort of miles, and I'm going to include the picture he sent me of the car and the MOT certificate just after this check called found. So manufacturer's date was registered 03/1998 and then ownership change 09/2003. So it has had one previous owner and they had it for like 5 years before they sold it to this gentleman. And then of course you've got all your MOT checks, passes, failures, any service inputs that was available at the time would have been input there as well. And when doing your check, if there is an issue, on the front page you can see this example clearly highlighted there: theft, amber, meaning warning, usage, warning, odometer, warning. Let's just go to the odometer so I can show you really what it does mean. So you can see there's a mileage rollback and a big dip in the mileage there. I want to thank Car Vertical once again for the continued support on the channel. Guys, to benefit from a discount off your must-do check, use the code up on screen now, or there's a link in the description. Let's head to the yard. So it was a bit difficult to get in this garden. It really was, but nothing's going to stop us taking this car away. It's so reasonably priced. Lovely mileage and a proper absolute gentleman we bought it off. It is mid-engine, so I've decided to keep it on this way. Both the doors latch, so I've got no problems with the doors flying up. But thank you so much. Guys, this is probably the strangest entrance I've had to make in to get a car, and it was very tight. We're in a little dead-end street, private road, and it was difficult to get through their gate. And what I've done is driven the truck in. They've moved their car over there. I've driven in the garden around that tree and then come back out here and winched it on backwards. We got the centre engine in this car, so I'm actually going to leave it like that. The doors all open and shut, they all latch okay, so we've got no problems there whatsoever. And you can see it's just starting to go dusk. Let's get back on the motorway and get back to the yard. 5 to 10 at night, guys. Just got back to the yard, started my van up. I'd love to do a walk around, but we're not going to see anything. But yeah, what lovely people they were. Very nice people. Couldn't have been more helpful. And definitely, if that truck was another inch bigger, we'd have never have got in there to get that car. And there's no way you was getting it out without a winch. So we'll have a look in the morning when Chris is here and we got some daylight on our side. Back in the morning. This is becoming a bit of a routine for us, walking out to look at the latest purchase. Oh mate, I've told you the story. Just winching it on, I noticed a couple of little bits, scuffed wheels, and a few scuffs on the bumpers and the door, but honestly I think these are just, honestly I just think they're from storage. The window's not dropping obviously because of the battery, but you're seeing this for the first time, so is everybody else, because I never showed it. Of course, I didn't get back here till 5 to 10. 26,000 miles approximately.
And sat for 10 years.
Sat for 10 years. Chris, honestly, you couldn't meet more lovelier people. They was really, really nice. Told me the story. They'd built a house in the garden, so this wasn't being used. It literally sat in the garage for a long time, and he said they pulled it out just over a year ago because needed to get in the garage. And of course, this is subject of a year, but that's...
Looks quite good,
oh, mate, you can see that mileage is definitely good, isn't it? You can tell just by looking at like the lower arms and the suspension.
Yeah.
But all the tyres, they're like new, but they're all split and cracked. Look at the gear stick.
Yeah. What's happened there then?
I broke it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They are quite common.
Right.
It is in the ashtray. I'm just going to have to order a new little button for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what I've just noticed. He's probably forgot about that.
I did see that.
That's a gate opener for his house.
Right.
So I must return that.
Yeah.
But I even...
Well, it's got marks, but it looks quite straight, Rob.
Oh, very, very much, yeah. And look at the headlights. They're not yellow.
They're not cloudy, are they?
No.
Clearly lived inside for most of its life, yeah. That's a shame.
It
Had a
is,
little bump.
It is, Chris, but what we paid for it, I mean, it's a bit
going to
there
have to
as
have
well.
some paintwork, isn't
yeah,
it?
100%. 100%. This car, long as it runs, I think we'd go to town on this.
Yeah.
Definitely, because of the mileage.
Yeah, broken.
Little crack in there.
Yeah.
And again, tyres, it's going to want 4 new tyres on it.
And wheel refurb.
Yeah, because it's mid-engine, I thought I pulled it on backwards. There was no way I could have got it on forwards. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. The door's all shut.
Yeah. Well, be a will it run. We haven't done one of them for some time.
No, have a look at this. I doubt that's ever been out there.
Oh, no.
But see that toolkit?
Yes.
I undone it to get the towing eye out. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's never been apart either, has it?
No.
Very, very nice, original.
Yeah.
Either one or one previous owner from new.
Yeah.
It was one previous owner, I think. There's the battery box. I think we've probably got something to do a will it run, but we probably won't get around to it now until tomorrow anyway, so I'll get on to Tannar and get us a battery.
Yes.
Like the proper battery for it.
Yes.
But what a lot of car for that money, and look how lovely. It ain't been got at, has it?
No. So have they run it when they moved it from
No,
the garage?
he said it has not run
for 10
years.
10
years.
So it's gonna want
this is 98, and
plugs.
I believe anything pre-2004 is on a chain. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I'm sure I do remember that from somewhere.
Yeah.
They do these in a 2.7, 2.5, 3.2.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think this is a 2.5. I'd have to check that again. Don't quote me on that, guys. I might be wrong. The brake discs all look lovely. And it has only been outside for a year, so they will possibly clean up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, we want this nice, don't we, with that miles on it. Now, he kind of guessed the mileage, and I showed it on Car Vertical earlier in the video. The last MOT was 26,000.
Right.
But it could have slightly more,
could
have slightly less. But what I will say is, on the MOTs, he done less than 100 between each one, so I don't think it has gone over 26.
Right.
No, you won't find no dough in this one.
No, that's a shame.
But
well,
what should we do? Should we get the pump out to get some air in the tyres? Because where I picked it up, their driveway was kind of like that, so I was able to pull it up without. But I don't know about getting it off here because we're on level ground. What's the plan? Tell me. I'm excited.
I guess. If we're going to wait for a new battery, we probably can't do a lot until that arrives, can we?
Should we just pick up once that's here then?
I think so.
Or should we stick a jump pack on it and check the mileage?
Well, we could do that, couldn't we?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Pack's on. Chris has got the key.
26771. 26771, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's good.
I mean,
Well, it's reading half a tank of fuel, but we really
that,
want to drain that off, don't we?
do we want to see if it turns, or do you want to get all the plugs out and lube them up first? It has only been outside for a year. Just give it a quick...
Yeah, I mean...
should we give it a quick click?
Can do if you want.
Just to... Oh, yeah, it turns.
Well, it's not seized up.
It's not seized up.
Well...
Let's get a battery on order. I can't wait to do this one.
I think so, and then we go from there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning where we are, that's for sure. So, on this particular day that I'm filming this bit of video, for those of you that follow Chris, you'll know that he's actually in Rome for a nice romantic weekend for his birthday. And well deserved too. Tannar, well, DHL just arrived with the Tannar battery. It was coming Saturday. I did turn up and I just about missed it. So the plan is really, we need to get this battery on there and get some power to this car, because when I actually picked it up, there was no battery on it. I don't know if he had it on a trickle charger or something like that, but the plan is get this battery fitted. I might not be able to do all of it with Chris, without Chris here. It's going to present some challenges. I don't really want to roll it off the truck. It is just a dead weight then. Wherever it rolls off, it's got to stay. I'm not going to push it on my own. The brakes are a little bit rusty, so they're going to bind on. You kind of get a gist of what I'm saying. The plan is get the battery on it. Let's get some power to it. Get the boot open and just start going through a few bits. I would love to actually get this running, and then when Chris gets back, it's actually all running and we can crack on with the little jobs on it. But without getting that back rear cover open and getting some power on it, we can't do that, can we? So no waffle this morning and no messing around. Let's get on and get this battery fitted. In with a new battery. Can't wait to get this on, get some power to it and actually test a few bits out. So this is the proper battery for the car, so it fit lovely. I've bolted it down just temporarily by hand. Jumped in here, windows down, checking those. Going to check the roof as well. Nice to finally get the boot open. I had to use the central locking button to get it open. Up and down a couple of times with the roof there. So a little bit of playing around there. Just checking stuff out, and the windows automatically come down. You would have seen the alarm was going off. That was screaming. And I thought, well, I bet the key fob's dead in the battery. But it actually turned out it wasn't. All I needed to do was shut the doors, set it, and then unset it. But the windows won't go back up. They've come down on their own. There's going to be little bits, isn't there? Damp. I mean, it may be something to do with the fact that the bonnet's open, now the boot's open as well. And guys, I've just dipped the oil. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually a bit, needs to focus, doesn't it? Basically, the oil in it's like new, and the water's bang on the maximum. It's got all antifreeze in it. You can see it. It all looks fine. But I still would like to get to those plugs really and have the plugs out of it. But the roof works, that comes up and down. All the lights have come on inside. Let's actually show you the water. Can you see? Looks absolutely fine. And the oil as well, it is just above the minimum, well, between the minimum and the maximum, but it's nice and clean. What we got here? Fabulous. Yeah. I think get the pump out and we'll put some air in the tyres. 8.5 hard to roll forward, even though it was on the winch. Let's do that. And round with a pump. It's crazy on time lapse. You can see the car actually lifting up, but this did take probably about 15 minutes to pump these 4 tyres up. They had about 5 psi in each tyre, and I just put them to 30. Really, to get it off the back of the truck, you can see how low down it is, and I'm really worried about getting this off later on in the video. Right, we've got air in the tyres, and now I am going to attempt to put it into service mode and get the engine cover off so that we can have a good look in there. We don't have any rodents in the airbox, etc, etc. I do just want to go through it. I've already taken off this cover, and it was just 4 little plastic clips that you just unwind. Now I've got to release the roof halfway open, get that convertible cover there all the way up, which you've got to have the boot shut to do. It's probably a good 5-10 minute job. You've got to take a couple of cables off, and I just had to Google it. I've never actually done one of these, but I've done something very, very similar, and you can kind of get a gist of what's going on. So I'm going to get that done, get this up, if the cable's undone, get this roof flipped up and get that cover off the top so that we can all have a look in there. There's a little compartment here that you can unzip to store stuff in, and I thought, oh, there's a pair of driving gloves in there, but they weren't. There was a pair of socks. Let's get on and get it done. Now the battery's on, we put the roof up that far and there's just 2 little cables in here. You pull them off, and then straight away there's some twist clips on a bit of carpet. You see me put it onto the roof of the truck there, and then you've got 5 or 6 twist clips here on the engine cover. Got that off, put that on the roof of the truck as well, and then pulled the air filter straight out, and had a bit of a shock here. When I do a cutting in a minute, I think you'll all be pleasantly surprised. Guys, to be honest, I was not expecting that. It has got a brand new filter in it, and looks like it's pretty much never run with that filter in it. But look how nice and tidy all of that is. There's not a drop of oil anywhere. I can now see, to get to the plugs, it is jack it up and go through the wheel arches. You can see 1 coil pack there, 1 there, and then of course you got that one a little bit further there, and you got 3 the other side. But this is the unbelievable bit. There was all paperwork in there, guys. Look at the maintenance records for this car. I know some of them are brakes, some of them are corrosion, but going back to service, 25th of the 4th 2000, 24k brake fluid change, so 2,000 miles ago. Don't get me wrong, I know this is going to want brake fluid change, it's going to want oils, filters, it doesn't matter, it's been sat a long time. 25th of the 4th 2000, 24k. This car had a service 2,000 miles ago. I knew, as soon as I see that air filter, I thought, this has definitely been serviced. And it's so easy to pull out the air filter to check it. But I now don't know whether I want to take the plugs out. I mean, it's quite a bit of hassle, but I'm prepared to do it. I'll strap the front wheels up, jack it up on the truck, and I'll remove them and change them. But do we need to? The engine turned, but what I do think is definitely going to be advisable is showing half a tank of fuel. Even though I've popped it, smell that, guys? It's a bit of smell-o-vision. The fuel smells perfect, but we don't know, do we? There's sediment in the bottom of the tank. Is it going to be best to drain that? What I might try and do is disconnect the fuel line from the engine. Sorry, I'm pointing here and you can't even see me. I might disconnect the fuel line from the engine and actually stick it into a pot, and we drain a bit of it off. We turn the ignition on, prime it, and see what the fuel looks like, what it smells like. Or get a pump in there and pump it all out and put some fresh fuel in it. And I think that this car will fire up. I genuinely do think it'll fire up. That's what I'm saying. I will change the plugs. We will go right through this. But do we need to do it right now? You can still clearly see all the writing on the fan belt in there. Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna take the fuel out and we're gonna send it. I think definitely. What have we got to lose? Let's try it. Let's get the air filter back in there and give it a try, guys. So far, we've got no fuel pump, and I've spun it a little bit. You can't hear it buzzing at all. The fuel pump is down the front in the tank there, but I don't want to strip all of this car on the back of the truck and have bits everywhere, if that makes sense. Very, very simple to remove and all put back together. but I don't, if I've got to dash out today for some reason, I don't just want to leave this car in bits like this. So what I'm actually going to do is put the engine cover back on, clip it all back together, 5 minutes, then we're going to concentrate on the fuel pump. I think it's probably stuck, but you can see I've already made up a bridge wire here. The fuel pump is up there. I've just watched a guy, shows you how to bridge it permanently so you can turn the ignition on. It's something that we do all the time actually. Chris bridges the fuel pump relay so it pumps so that we can drain the tank without any messing around. So I'm actually going to uncover the fuel pump in a moment, but I do want to get all of this put back together first, just so that we've got haven't got bits of this car stripped out everywhere. Guys, I can't wait to give this car a clean. Also, I hit a button down there by mistake and the spoiler lifted up, so that's all working as well. Right, let's quickly get this all back together. So back on with it all. Again, 5 or 6 twist clips. Go to the inside, put the inside carpet back in. Then that little nice new, the engine cover carpet goes on. 4 little twist clips, and that's back on and all done as well. Right, that's everything all back together, but we are back to square one. There is no fuel pump buzzing whatsoever. I even tried the little bridge cable across pin numbers. Do you know what? I'm not going to say what pin numbers, just in case I get it wrong, but I've got it written down on my phone here, and I've bridged the 2 pins. There's no fuel pump buzzing whatsoever. So, luckily, I didn't bolt that down. We're going to have out that battery, and then of course have out that battery tray and get to that fuel pump and have a look at it. I'm not going to time lapse anymore, guys, but that's what I'm going to do. You can see there's some 13s there and a couple of 10s on the battery. So let's get that out, and then I'll cut in once we get to it. So I've exposed the fuel pump, guys. It was just 4 13s to remove the cover, and it's underneath. I do need to blow all this debris away, but you can see I've disconnected the loom already, and you've got the feed and return there, and of course the breather. I'm just going to go in the workshop, grab some tools. I think we'll get in there, we'll drain the fuel, we'll pull the pump out and bench test it. I think that is the way forward. So let's get that done. Right, I've got it out, guys. Thankfully it doesn't look like it's got half a tank. It looks like about 1/4 of a tank. There we go. It takes a little while, but it's flowing now, so let's let that fill up and then we'll whip it out. So 5-gallon can, and you can see probably just under 4 gallons in there. Fuel sender unit comes out first. That was quite very easy, in fact, guys. And then this actually clips in. There's some, see those little slots in the bottom. Let me put it in the tripod. Be a bit easier then, won't it? So you see, you've got these little slots, and obviously it just locks in, and it was probably about half a turn, click, and then it actually pulled out. So you pull the pipes and the wires out first. So what I've actually done, you can see, I've got a live. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 blue cables, and it's what I've just found. So black to blue is the earth, and you can see I've got it earthed, and then live to the live here. We'll wait till the car passes, and you should be able to hear it. Fuel pump is seized solid. Oh, so it was just stuck, guys. That has started working now. I knew it'd free off in the end, but now that's stuck, in an ideal world, that's never going to last now. The filter is immaculate, you can see. That's only where I've put it down on the floor. I'm going to ring and try and get one of these today. If for any reason I can't, I will put this back in there temporary so that we can run it. Now it's buzzing, but it will be a bit soul destroying if you put it in and then it packs up again. But it does sound fine, doesn't it? But it's not. It will need changing 100%, because it will do it again. Right, well, that's good news. Do you know what? Let me ring up and see if I can get one. If I can't, let's get that back in there, because the video's going on now, isn't it? Right, he's got to order the complete unit. But what he did say is, obviously, if you take the pump out and get the numbers off it, he may be able to just get us the pump instead of the whole assembly, which would make sense, wouldn't it? So it looks like you've got to bend all these little tags over. I'm going to give that a go and get that removed. Right, one last little test. We're going to put this back in. Let's get it back in now. I think that was just stuck, but it's still going to need a new one. You can't stick that one in there and expect it to last forever. It's got stuck once, it's going to get stuck again. I'll get this fitted, whip up the garage, get some fresh petrol for it, and then when we fire it up. Right, that is all of it temporarily back together. When I say temporary, I mean everything's clipped on, but I haven't completely tightened this up. I've put a jump pack on it, the ignition's on, so I don't know if that was a fuel pump buzzing or not, guys. Certainly sounded like it, didn't it? Let's try it again. It's not going to prime again though, is it? Let's stick the battery tray in it, stick the battery on it and give it a go. Before we do, sorry, fresh gallon of fuel. Let's get that in there. It ain't going to start with none in it, is it? That's for sure. Oh, I'm getting excited now. I've got my fingers crossed. I need to run in and get a funnel. Fuel. It's in the red, but come on. Oh no. Oh, that was me leaning on it. Come. Yes! Come on! Fired straight up. I knew it was that fuel pump. Guys, listen how quiet that is. Yes, I did check to make sure that the oil light went out there, guys. Oh, how nice does that sound? Little bit of smoke, but then do we expect that? It's been sat for quite some time, hasn't it? And it started idling high. I am going to actually turn it off, disconnect the battery and tighten up that fuel pump surround. Let's get that done and we'll start it back up. That sounds nice. Oh, I can't believe that, guys. How good is that? I've been on this all day. I haven't filmed like all the time lapse of me messing around with this, but it's really made my day. Really made my day. Right, let's get that tightened up. It's all of that done up. I want to let it idle now for a bit. Guys, this sounds so sweet as a nut. I just hope that smoking stops. It's actually going, isn't it? It is slowly but surely going. I'll tell you what we'll do now it's running. Let's get it off the back of this truck, I think. Yeah, that is quite a lot of smoke actually. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's pull the truck forward and get it off the back of this truck. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Guys, look at that smoke. I'm really worried at this point in the video. It looks like clouds are passing. There's that much coming out of it. And you can see when I drive up and reverse there, it doesn't seem to be easing off. Let's see how we get on once it's warmed up. It does sound absolutely sweet as a nut. But that's a bit concerning, isn't it? Or is it? Don't forget, this car has not started for 10 or 11 years. I'm going to put away the ramps, all the straps and everything on the truck, and I'm just going to let it idle for a little while because I'm checking all the temperatures and everything is absolutely fine. Look, it's between 40 and 80 there, the temperature. The fuel's nearly quarter of a tank, and putting my hands in front of the heaters, I've just turned them on, it's actually coming out nice and hot. So I haven't really got any concern. Oh, that is clearing, guys, isn't it? I'm just being stupid, aren't I? Yeah, I'm being silly. Let's let that clear and get all this put away. I absolutely stink of stale fuel. If anyone wants about 4 gallon of it, no, I've got somewhere to take that. I'll take it round to the scrapyard. They've got a proper petrol tank to put that in, recycling tank, so I'll do that. Right, let's get this all put away. It took 5 minutes. Put all the straps back on, put the ramps away, and it is still purring like a cat. And not a drop of smoke. Oh, do you know what, guys? Honestly, I was worried. I don't know why. I was genuinely worried, but I didn't need to be, did I? I was just being silly. Listen to that. Temperature's nearly up to 80. Heaters are still nice and warm. I did stand on the brakes a couple of times. I'm going to have a couple of goes up and down in the yard, innit? Sod it. Want to come with me, guys? No seatbelt. I'm sure you'll let me off. Changed gear all right. Yeah, I'm going to go up and down a few times, give them brakes a good clean up, but honestly, I'm so made up. I know I've said it too many times now, haven't I? I'm like a little kid, but I'm really excited that it's done. I'm excited that it's running, so when Chris gets back, we can jump in it and move it around, you know, start it up and move it, as opposed to pushing it around and trying to get it going. Right, Porsche Boxster, guys, will it run? Absolutely, you're damn right it does, and I am made up. Honestly, I'm so happy. There's a lot of messing around there, a lot of playing around, but once I got stuck in, I thought, I ain't going home until this starts. It is the end of the day. It's literally took all day, but I thought, I ain't going home until we've got this car started. And if I couldn't put that fuel pump back in there to start it up, we wouldn't have got it running today, and the video was already long enough, so I would have had to end the video and there would have been another one, and I'm not going to do that. I thought, I'm adamant, I am staying on this until we get it running. And for that smoke to clear, I mean, there's a few problems with that car. All the windows went down on their own. I could not get them back up. I've ended up holding my finger on the button, getting all the windows to go up, and then disconnecting the battery just so that they don't go down. And of course, every now and then the alarm goes off. I think probably a bit of moisture, and as you could see when I picked it up, their garden was a bit like that. There's probably loads of water in that exhaust pipe, and that's why it was smoking. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more, don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on all of our social networking sites, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Salvage Rebuilds UK. Of course, you can follow Chris on his jollies on his Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds UK Chris. Don't forget, like, subscribe and share, and we'll look forward to seeing you all very soon in the next one.